Good morning, Springfield, and happy Thursday. We are back with another episode of Live from Springfield. I'm your host, Logan Cobbs, and today we will be talking about the United Way. So today we have Kerry Pedraza here, who's the Executive Director of the United Way for Clark, Champaign, and Madison County. So
It's
Kerry,
a mouthful.
it is. It's a tongue twister.
Yes.
Kerry, thank you for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Oh, yay. How cool is that? Charlie Patterson doesn't do any of those fun things.
You should encourage him to. Just start pressing buttons. So, Kerry, as we do here on Live from Springfield, I have 3 questions for you. Are you ready?
Goodness. Yes.
Okay, so tell me how long you've been with United Way.
7 years.
Oh, you're okay.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I thought
you're
it was
good.
question, answer.
Let's do it that way. Tell me what you do for United Way. So you're executive director. So in your role, what do you do?
I would say I am the chief cook and bottle washer.
Okay.
I pretty much do any and everything.
Sure.
We're a really small office. There are only 4 of us. So
Okay.
we all do it all.
Wonderful. Okay. And then last but definitely not least, tell us a fun fact about yourself.
All right. You would never know it. Some of you who know me might, but believe it or not, I used to dance in New Orleans.
No, I never knew. Please give us a little more information there.
So when I was in high school, I was actually working on a career as a classical ballet dancer.
That's amazing.
And so I was an apprentice with the New Orleans Ballet Company in New Orleans.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
you heard it here first, folks. I mean, a fun fact about Kerry. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
All right, Kerry, let's just hop right in. So what did I miss? Anything about introductions about yourself that you'd like to add in there before we start talking about United Way?
No, other than maybe I am a lifelong resident
Okay.
of Clark County, Springfield in particular. Absolutely adore Springfield. Wouldn't want to live any other place.
That's perfect to add into that introduction. Thank you. So, Kerry, what is United Way?
So, boy, I wish I had like a real easy little tagline about what United Way is.
Okay.
But what we are is a multifaceted, not local, very important, local nonprofit.
Okay.
That's focused on creating community and community-led solutions for issues in our community, such as health, education, and income. We're interested in improving all of those 3 components, which we consider the basic building blocks of a good life and a good community.
Sure. So tell me about the history of United Way. So you said it's local, but I know it's bigger than just those 3 counties. So tell us a little bit about the history.
Okay, so believe it or not, our United Way started in 1918. So we are over 100 years old. We
awesome.
began as the Springfield Clark War Service, and we were founded for the very specific purpose of helping during the war, helping to cover expenses and things that were occurring because of the war.
Okay.
And the dollars that we raised, which believe it or not, at that time in 1918. The first campaign raised over $740,000.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's like $12 million.
I was going to say,
today.
but in this time, that's huge.
It's huge.
Wow. Okay.
It's huge. And so those dollars were put back out into the community and funded agencies and programs that some of them we're even still funding today. So like the American Red Cross, Salvation Army, and the YMCA.
Those are all household names.
Yeah, absolutely. So as the war ended, we still wanted to continue to support the community, and we moved into a phase that we were called the community chest.
Okay.
And then in the 70s, we took on the name of United Way. And then from there, we were United Way of Clark County. And then about 25 years ago, we brought on Champaign County.
Okay.
And really just about 10 years ago, we brought on Madison County.
Wow. I appreciate that history. I think that kind of gives some context into United Way overall versus our local United Way.
Yeah.
So let's talk locally. Tell me, and I know you mentioned this earlier, tell me a little bit more about the areas that you serve.
Sure. So what's interesting about United Way is that we provide both direct services, and then what most people think of when they think of United Way, we also fund and provide support to various agencies.
Okay.
So on the direct service side, United Way provides an information and referral service called 211.
Okay.
And 211 is it's a live 24-hour, 7-day-a-week service where if someone just doesn't know where to turn or has a question or maybe helping a family member or a neighbor find resources in the community, they can actually just pick up the phone and call 211. It is a national number, but it will be directed and through the questions that you'll be asked when you make this call, they can get down to zip code proximity to where services are.
Okay.
So we have actually someone that answers the phone, but there's also a searchable database. So you can go to our website and it's very user friendly. You just go to the 211 searchable database. You can pull up, put your zip code in, and then pull up whatever it is that you're looking for. And to be quite honest, our 211 service has actually doubled since this time last year. So
Due to COVID.
Exactly. So we've been getting, in September of last year, we were having maybe like around 100, 115 calls.
Okay.
Now we are up over 300 calls a month. And the majority of people are looking for those safety, basic crisis services like food, shelter, rent assistance, utilities assistance. So that's one of the direct services that we provide.
So real quick, Kerry,
Yes.
let's talk a little bit more about 211.
Absolutely.
So people can call 211. Differentiate just briefly between 211 and 911.
Oh boy, that's a great initiative that we actually partnered with the city of Springfield and the dispatch and safety forces. You know, it is so important that people have access to 911 when there's a true emergency. But sometimes the true emergencies really aren't quite as an emergent issue as they could be or as they should be. So with that, oftentimes the medics will arrive at the house, and it's really something that maybe a phone call to 211 could have helped. And it's not at all that the medics don't want to be responsive.
Right.
But we just know the number of calls that they're taking. If there is a way to divert a call, it just makes better service for those that are critically and in need. So we encourage people to call 211, but we certainly don't want people not to call 911 if there is truly an emergency, if you're having chest pain or unable to breathe or have fallen and broken something.
So 911 would be more emergency, whereas 211 would just be more resources and probably a little more conversational and really getting to the root of some of those issues.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a great way to put it.
Is 211 a 24/7 service?
It is.
Okay.
And just so that you know, I had not been aware of 211 before I started this position.
Okay.
So one morning, it was about 4:30 in the morning, I made one of these little calls I wanted to be a mystery shopper. I mean, I wanted to see what, and they were so responsive, very responsive. And I got the answers that I needed.
That's wonderful. All right. So I think that's enough on 211. I just wanted to get a little bit of additional background information there. But tell me more about the services that United Way provides.
So we also offer a Volunteers United on our website.
Okay.
So this is a great way if you have high schoolers in your household that need community service hours. If you as an employer are looking for team building activities, things like that, you can go to our website, which is uww UWCCMC.org. Oh my
That's a tongue
gosh.
twister
I know.
too.
Just remember the initials: United Way, Clark, Champaign, Madison County. UWCCMC.org. Yes.
Okay.
And there is a site, and it's a searchable site again that has all of our nonprofits that have loaded their volunteer opportunities
Okay.
on there. So we've also been really actively engaged with many community partners around Community Service Day.
Okay.
That has typically happened in May of every year.
But
as many things have
Sure.
happened, that was postponed. But we will be back in full regalia next May.
absolutely.
Fingers crossed. So anyhow, so Volunteers United is a really good resource for people in the community if they are looking for opportunities to serve others. And then not last but not least, but it is probably one of my things that I love, and that is the Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
Oh, wonderful.
And if you're not aware of Dolly Parton Imagination Library, you need to register your children or your grandchildren into this program. It is an evidence-based, which means that there's a lot of research behind it to show that children who come from a print-rich home are much more successful and score higher on kindergarten readiness tests as well as third grade reading level. So we partnered in 2017, we partnered with the Dollywood Foundation of the famous Dolly Parton. And this program allows us to offer free to every child between birth and age 5 a free age-appropriate book to be sent to their home.
Wow.
I know.
I don't think I realized that.
It's very cool. There is absolutely no cost to the parent. And I just ran statistics. So in Clark County, since 2017, we have given out 92,058 books.
That's awesome.
It is pretty cool, isn't it? And actually, I have great stories from either friends or people who have just posted on Facebook.
Sure.
Their kids love when these books come. So it's not just about education. It's also about the whole self-esteem. This is something coming from,
For me.
For me.
Yeah.
And they really look forward to it. In fact, my grandsons, my 7-year-old grandson actually now looks forward to getting the books for his younger brother. And then they sit and they read them. So it's just,
That's awesome.
It's very cool.
How often do they come?
Once a month.
Once a month.
And currently we are giving about 3,159 books a month out.
What an awesome resource.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So somebody in the audience is at home like, oh, I want to send my grandkids books. How do they go about signing up?
So what they need to do, go to that website again, uwccmc.org.
Okay.
And there will be a link, and you just have to register online for it. So
that is awesome.
I need to give a special shout out, though, to the First Lady of Ohio, Mrs. DeWine, because she has brought this in as her initiative. And so in partnership with all of the counties, the state of Ohio actually matches dollar for dollar what we're doing. So it's typically is $25 a year to pay for the cost of the books, but because of this partnership, it's only $12.50 a year per child.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. Yeah. So Kerry, and always, if you all have questions, those that are watching, if you have questions for Kerry, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and she would be happy to answer those.
I would.
But Kerry, tell me, what does United Way mean for just the average person?
So it's interesting if you look at it from two perspectives.
Okay.
From the first perspective, it is it makes more services available in our community.
Okay.
So the second part of that earlier question was, besides our direct services, we also fund about 50 nonprofits throughout our 3-county area.
Okay.
So what that means is, because of that funding, those nonprofits are able to provide more services or even services that they may not have been able to do
Sure.
without our United Way dollars. So as someone in the community, you may not realize it, but when you are receiving assistance through MedAssist for your prescriptions, or if you are receiving help with your utility bills through Salvation Army, many of those dollars have actually come through because of the generosity of the next thing that I'm going to talk about, and that is for just everyday people in our community. Being able to give to United Way is an incredible way to be an everyday philanthropist, because we know that it really doesn't, we would love to have $10,000, $15,000 one-time gifts,
Sure.
but we also know that through the power of people and all of us coming together, even to just donate a little, it goes so far because of the power of being able to bring everybody's dollars together. So it's not only about receiving the services, but it's also about being able to give back. And I think that sometimes we don't stop and think about the people that are receiving services
Sure.
are sometimes the most generous people in the world, who would give the shirt off of their back. And so we know that many people that are receiving services through United Way dollars are also giving $1 a week out of their paycheck.
Absolutely.
Because right now, more than any time in our country, I think that we're looking at working there. There's truly the people that are the working poor that are in need of these services that we're offering.
So I know that probably this year is much different than last year. And I don't know if you have this number off the top of your head, but tell me, in 2019, how much money did the United Way give out to the community?
Okay, I did bring that. I brought statistics.
She's prepared.
I'm trying all the time. So we raised in our 2020 campaign. So that would have been the campaign that would have run last fall into this year. We raised about $1.2 million, and we gave out about 850,000 of that. So of that, or it was closer to 900,000. Of that, I want to make sure that people understand that wasn't just the United Way campaign, but when COVID hit, United Way started a Clark County COVID fund, and we raised 161,000 throughout the 3 counties, but 120,000 of that was specific for Clark County.
Wow. Okay.
So we have given out our first round, and we're getting ready to give out our second round, which will mean that we've given out close to $100,000 just in emergency service money. So that would have been for food, rent, utilities, and for shelter. So.
I feel like a lot of people probably don't know that was part of United Way kind of played that role in coping with COVID-19.
Yeah, I think that sometimes in the noise and the chaos of everything, and as you and I have talked, sometimes it's really hard to understand what United Way does, and sometimes people think to themselves, well, why in the world am I going to give my money to United Way instead of giving it directly to a nonprofit?
Absolutely.
And please understand, I am not telling anyone that they should not give. What I'm trying to get across is that by giving to United Way, we really have our pulse on holistically what our community needs. And we do that in a lot of different ways. Myself and the United Way staff, we sit on many committees that are actually kind of the boots on the ground.
Absolutely.
Where we're hearing exactly where those needs are. The other thing that I will say is, often when someone is in need, it's not just one thing that they need. So if they need rent assistance, my guess is they don't have enough food in their house either.
Right.
And my guess is they've got maybe potentially some health issues going on there. So as much as I would love to give to every nonprofit in our community because of the good work that they do, what I know is I have a limited philanthropy budget that I can work with. And by giving to United Way, what I know is that we take very seriously the money that has been invested with us by our donors. And we want to make sure that your money that we then distribute out to the community is working hard and that we're getting the best outcomes possible for the dollars that you invest with us. So.
Sure. I think that's important to note, Kerry, just how involved United Way truly is in the community. I feel like every meeting I'm in, Kara's probably in the same meeting or either you, just kind of keeping your head wrapped around what exactly is going on. So I think that's very important and worth noting.
Thank you. To be honest, that's probably the best part of our jobs. Is the fact that we get to be involved. And, I always say, I don't think in my life I could ever be a social worker. One of the hardest jobs ever. But what I do know is that I can help support them by doing the job that I do. And that would go for a multitude, whether it's healthcare or whatever. So this is our way of being able to support the community. I also want to make sure that I let people know that when you give to United Way, there's this mindset, I think, that we give all of our money back to this United Way worldwide. And I want to assure people who contribute to the United Way that we only pay a very small membership fee to United Way Worldwide. And the cost of that membership for us, because of the size of our counties and what we are able to raise, is about $20,000 a year. That may seem like a lot, but when our budget is $1.2 million, it's a pretty small percentage. But what's even more important about that membership fee that we give, that membership fee allows us and gives us the opportunity to pull down money from FEMA. It allows us to pull down money from other campaigns that are happening throughout the county that people donate back to Clark County.
Sure.
So in essence, we spend $20,000 in this membership, but leverage those dollars for another $100,000 or over $100,000 that we get to bring back here in our community. So
I appreciate your transparency there. I think really hearing those numbers, at least for me, kind of helps me keep things in perspective of how much is going out versus how much is coming in. So that's awesome. And thank you for that.
Absolutely. Other point of interest is for every dollar that United Way brings into the community through our annual campaign or other donations, 86 cents of that dollar goes right back out. So we have a 13.9% administrative overhead.
Sure.
And what that does is pay for the United Way staff to do the processing and all of the other things that we do in the community, and help support the Dolly Parton Imagination Library and the direct services that I talked about.
Awesome. 86 cents
out of
on
every
the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So we are getting close on time, Kerry, and I do want to be conscious of that.
Okay.
So tell me, for the people that are watching at home, like, this is awesome, how do they get involved?
Oh my gosh.
And if you say the website again, no,
no. I should have brought a sign. So how people can get involved. We have a tagline that says, give, advocate, and volunteer. And that really is our tagline. So if you want to get involved with United Way, you can do it by giving, either through a workplace campaign or through an individual donation to United Way. Advocating. Right now it's easy to be an advocate because there is so much need in the community. So advocating and telling people where they can get assistance by calling 211, advocating for children that need more literacy and print-rich books in their home by advocating that they contact us.
Sure.
And then volunteering is just so important. We have volunteers that are needed in our organization through different committees. If anyone's interested, I won't give a website, but I'll give my phone number.
Okay, that's fair.
937-324-5551. And For that matter, you can even call 211 and say, I need connected to.
There you go. That was a good plug.
There we go. So, but I appreciate you having me, Logan.
Of course. Did I miss anything, Kerry?
I'm just thinking, I can't really think of anything other than, it's an important time in our community to help. Oh, one thing I do want to say is I know it may be a little misleading that we have 3 counties.
Okay.
So everybody's probably thinking to themselves, okay, if I give $50, is it going to be split 3 ways? What is really unique about what our board of directors did when we brought on the other 2 counties, they made sure that each county has a separate pot of money.
Okay.
So whatever is raised in Clark County stays in Clark County.
Wonderful.
And the same with Madison and Champaign County. You can donate to anyone that you want. We truly believe in donor choice. So you may think that there are only certain nonprofits that we take money for, but in truth, you can actually designate to anyone, and you can do that just by letting us know either on the pledge card or when you make your donation.
So can you also choose which organization you want your funds to go to?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay.
Yes. So if you give a donation, you have the opportunity to designate to either ones that we are currently funding through our non-designated dollars. And those would be what you see on the back of a pledge form. Or let's say that you are currently, we do not fund any animal through our unrestricted funds. We do not donate to or fund any kind of pet or humane society or but if that's something that you are passionate about,
sure,
you can absolutely put on the pledge form that you want it to go to such and such. They just have to be a 501c3. Okay. And they cannot be a government or a religious entity, unless, of course, perfect example, St. Vincent de Paul. People may think that it's connected with a religious organization, but they are a separate 501c3.
Okay, very good. Well, I have to encourage those that are watching to reach out to the United Way, learn more about the United Way. If you are a company or an organization, consider having a United Way campaign.
Thank you.
The city's campaign is kicking off in 2 weeks, shameless plug. So they are fun, I must say, and it's a great way to give back and raise money for the community. So
and thank you for your shirt. I love your shirt.
Yes, thank you. So, Kerry, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. United Way is a great organization, so I appreciate you coming to speak about it.
Thank you. And thanks, everyone who's given in the past or is even considering. We appreciate it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for tuning in, and we will catch you on November 5th for our next episode. So we'll see you then. Bye.